virtual field trip of the Cape Fear Museum of History and Science. The Cape Fear Museum of History and Science was originally located on the second floor of the Wilmington Light Infantry. It was founded by the United Daughters of the Confederacy in March of 1898. Since then, it has moved to occupy 2 rooms of the County Courthouse Annex in the late 1920s. Then in the 1960s, it moved to the 3rd floor of the police station. Imagine how small the museum must have been to fit in these buildings. But in 1970, the museum found its current home on 814 Market Street in what used to be the National Guard Armory building. In the late 1980s, Wilmington residents began supporting funds for the museum to be improved, and the museum is still opening new exhibits today. Why do you think the museum constantly changes or adds exhibits? Originally, the museum was used to house and preserve Confederate objects from the Civil War. Over the decades, the museum's collection grew to hold regional, national, and international art, history, and science artifacts. When you first enter the museum, you can't help but notice the replica of the skeleton of the giant ground sloth. This creature lived up to 1.5 million years ago in what was now Wilmington. Could an animal this big survive in our town of Wilmington today? Why or why not? Next, you can explore how life in Wilmington changed over time from the first settlers to the beginning of the World Wars. Each station has its own phone where you can hear a person retelling the story of someone who lived during that time. What was life like for people who first settled Wilmington? What challenges did they face? You can also walk through a 3-dimensional setting to explore what life was like for people who lived in the lower Cape Fear region, beginning with Native American times through the end of the 20th century. As you walk through the museum, you can also find primary and secondary resources. What is an example of a primary resource? What's an example of a secondary resource? You'll find many artifacts, goods, and other tools in this section. You will also see how these goods were transported and what countries or regions traded with whom. This exchange of goods could fall under some of the 5 themes of geography. Which themes do you think it would fit under and why? One of the most intricate exhibits in the museum is the Wilmington Waterfront Model. The model is a replica of how the early Wilmington residents used the Cape Fear River. How are the people in the model using the river? Has this changed from how people use the river today? Why? Which of the 5 themes of geography do you see in this model? The history exhibit that is also very intricate is the replica of the fall of Fort Fisher. Learn about the events leading up to the battle itself, and the effects from it. Just press a button and a narrator tells you the whole story. There is also a section dedicated to education in Wilmington and how it's changed. It even features artifacts from UNCW. What differences do you notice about school back then versus now? How does it look different from your own classroom? As we move throughout the early history of Wilmington, one of the most important events in Wilmington's history is featured, the violence of 1898. Along with photos, maps, and newspaper headlines, you can sit back and watch a short documentary on what exactly happened in Wilmington in 1898. One of the museum's newest exhibits is the Space Place. This exhibit was built to look just like the inside of the International Space Station. This exhibit has hands-on STEM activities such as glove box experiments and a robotic arm. You can also experience real-time information straight from the space station, including camera footage of Earth. Lastly, you can learn about Wilmington's wildlife, vegetation, and weather and climate with interactive exhibits. What wildlife and climate features do you notice that are specific to Wilmington? What themes of geography could this exhibit cover? And it's not over yet. As you exit the museum, you will find the beautiful Cape Fear Museum Park. This park shows some of the ways that people have interacted with the region's water and land resources throughout history. The park exhibits gardens with native plants, hands-on exhibits, and historic images and objects. Thanks for watching, and here's some more pictures.